I want to give you a really good concrete example of how appeasement does not work. There is no safety for collaborators, capitulators, appeasers of a fascist regime. Do you remember back in March when Columbia University folded like a chair? The Trump regime threatened to pull $400 million worth of government funding from Columbia University. They did not have the legal authority to do that, by the way. Also, let's keep in mind that Columbia's endowment is close to $15 billion. But instead of saying, you know what, this is what our endowment's for, we're going to draw from that, we're going to hold the line against fascism, we're going to reach out to other universities and say, hey, will you hold the line with us? Can we form a coalition of colleges and universities to resist the intimidation of Trump? No, Columbia didn't do any of that. They immediately said, yes, sir. Again, this was back in March. Columbia was the first school that Trump targeted. They immediately gave him everything he wanted on his list and more. That included a face mask ban on campus, way to throw your students' health under the bus. They also agreed to allow dozens of special security officers on campus and gave them the power to arrest and or remove students from campus. Also basically let Trump put one of his dudes in to oversee a number of their departments, including the Center for Palestine Studies. Columbia also changed their definition of anti-Semitism to include excluding Jewish people based on their attitudes toward Israel. That's not anti-Semitism. Not only did Columbia give Trump everything he demanded in his shakedown, they went above and beyond. They adopted a policy of institutional neutrality, meaning the school would stop taking official positions on political issues. But let me back up to a month before this, because I think one of the reasons Trump knew that this intimidation tactic was going to be successful against Columbia, basically instantly, is because back in February, when Trump did things like issue bans on transgender athletes in sports and start attacking DEI, Columbia immediately altered its DEI statements on their website. This is February 21st. They just immediately deleted their transgender athlete policy and their DEI mission statement from the school's website. Instantaneous, cowardly folding, no spine whatsoever. So because they showed such weakness initially, I think Trump knew that it was going to be easy for him to continue to intimidate them, and he knew that Columbia was just going to buckle every time. Right, so Columbia thought back in February, we will appease Trump. We will throw our transgender students under the bus. We will throw our Black students, our international students, all minority students, Indigenous students, women. We're throwing everybody under the bus except for white men. We are going to get rid of our DEI policy, our DEI mission statements, and we are going to go ahead and let Trump's policy of white supremacy be the norm here. They did that in advance. They complied in advance. They tried to appease him so that he would not focus his ire on them, and it didn't fucking work. Because the next thing Trump did was threaten to pull $400 million of funding from the school unless they complied with his long list of demands. And instead of finding their courage in that moment as their students and multiple faculty were outraged, what they did is gave him everything he asked for and more, thinking this will make us safe. Now we don't want to make him angry. This will make us safe. Keep in mind, Columbia did that for money, y'all, for money. They had almost $15 billion of an endowment, and they did that for $400 million of funding. I mean, we know that the major universities in the United States basically operate as hedge funds. They're massive investment portfolios. They wouldn't dip into that to hold the line against fascism. No. They thought, we'll just give a little bit more and then we'll be safe. Then he'll go for other schools, not us. Well, they weren't wrong that he went for Harvard, and Harvard said, go fuck yourself, we'll see you in court. And guess what? Harvard has won time and time again. Every time Trump goes for them, they say, we'll see you in court, motherfucker, and they win. Because the things Trump is trying to do to our universities are illegal. It's like if Columbia had held the line and reached out to other schools, they would have found protection in numbers. Because now there is a coalition of hundreds of colleges and universities who agree to share resources if Trump comes for their school. They have learned the very simple lesson: if we stand together, then he doesn't stand a chance against us. It's when you let him pick you off one by one that you're vulnerable. But Columbia, they thought, we're safe now. We did all the things he wanted. We betrayed our students. We're safe. Nope, they're not, because guess what the Trump regime did yesterday? Oh, look at that. The federal government says Columbia fails to meet accreditation standards. They want to pull Columbia's accreditation as a university. The claim here is that they didn't do enough to protect their Jewish students from anti-Semitism. Wild considering how many members of the Trump regime are white supremacists with Yahtzee leanings. Elon Musk can do the Yahtzee salute and retweet posts from white supremacists. He's allowed to have members of Doge who have posted overtly anti-Semitic things. The white Afrikaners, pro-apartheid Afrikaners, who were brought in as refugees to this country, can post all kinds of anti-Semitic shit on the internet. It doesn't matter because they're aligned with the Trump regime. But Colombia didn't do enough to protect its Jewish students from anti-Semitism. I want y'all to understand there is no appeasing a fascist. There is no appeasing an autocrat like Trump. If you give him an inch, he'll walk all over you. The fact that Colombia has chosen to be a pillar of support for the Trump regime, has chosen to betray the American people, their students, their professors, their core guiding principles and ethics for $400 million. And because they thought it would make them safe, they thought they would throw all of us under the bus to secure their own safety. But it doesn't fucking do a thing. It doesn't protect them at all. Trump is a bully. His whole game is intimidation. So if you stand up to him, he will try even harder to punish you. He will try more and more illegal shit to get back at you because he wants you to obey him immediately. He, like all tyrants, actually has a very weak grasp on power. He relies on people and institutions like Colombia being cowardly and folding very quickly. In contrast, when we see people in institutions hold the line like Harvard is doing, the rule of law is also holding. Appeasement has not bought Colombia any safety whatsoever. Trump will just come and take more and more and more from them. Colombia should be a great cautionary tale to all of us right now, a great lesson for us to learn. Appeasement does not work. The only way to be safe is to form broad-based coalitions of millions of people, of hundreds of thousands of institutions, and stand up and hold the line together.